Hi friends, I am Banshankaraya. Welcome to B Physics YouTube channel. Dear friends, in previous videos we have studied about the topic reflection of light. Now I am going to discuss the next topic, that is refraction of light. We know that light travels along a straight line path in a medium or two different medium with same densities. Now the question arises that what happens when light travels from one medium to another medium with different densities? Does it still travel along a straight line path or changes its direction? So to understand this, let us recall some of our day-to-day life experiences. Take a beaker containing water and take a pencil, hold it obliquely and partially immerse in water. And you will observe that the pencil appears to bend or displaced at the interface of air and water. In the same way, you can take any object. Here I have taken lemon. So take a lemon and see the size of this lemon and drop into a water. You will observe that the lemon size appears to be bigger than its actual size. In the same way, you can take any object. For example, take coin and drop into water, and you see from the top. You will observe that the coin appears to be raised. A coin appears to be raised. So, till now we have seen three activities. One is a pencil held obliquely and partially immersed in water appears to be bent or displaced at the interface of air and water. And in second activity, we have seen that a lemon kept inside the water appears to be bigger than its actual size. In third activity, we have seen that a coin which is kept inside the water appears to be raised. So these observations show that the light reaching you from the portion of the object placed inside the water seems to come from a different directions compared to the part above the water. So we can conclude that light does not travel in the same direction in all media. That means it changes its direction. The light changes its direction when it moves from one medium to another medium obliquely. So what is refraction of light? The bending or change in the direction of light when it travels from one medium to another medium obliquely. So this is the definition of refraction of light. The bending or change in the direction of light when it travels from one medium to another medium obliquely. So this is called refraction of light, and this is due to change in the speed of light. This is due to change in the speed of light. So this is the definition of refraction of light and the reason for the refraction of light. Now the next topic is refraction through glass slab. Refraction through glass slab. Consider a rectangular glass slab Consider a rectangular glass slab PQRS. Consider a rectangular glass slab PQRS. Here we have two media. One is air medium and another is glass medium. Air medium is a optically rarer medium. That means it is a medium in which the speed of light is more. Glass is a optically denser medium. That means it is a medium in which the speed of light is less. For example, the speed of light in air is 3 into 10 to the power of 8 meter per second. But the speed of light in glass is 2.25 the speed of light in glass is 2 into 10 to the power of 8 meter per second. So 3 into 10 to the power of 8 meter per second is the speed of light in air, whereas the 2 into 10 to the power of 8 meter per second is the speed of light in glass medium. So it is optically rarer medium and glass is a optically denser medium. Now consider a ray of light AO which is incidentally at the interface of two media, and draw one normal line at the point of incidence and label it as a MN. And when a ray of light AO going from optically rarer medium to optically denser medium, that is from air medium to glass medium, it bends towards the normal. It bends towards the normal and goes in the direction OB inside the glass slab. Inside the glass slab. Again, you draw one more normal line at this point and you label it as a M dash N dash. So this ray of light is called refracted ray. This ray of light is called refracted ray, and this is a, you know very well, that is incident ray. Now when this refracted ray goes from glass medium to air medium, it bends away from the normal. It bends away from the normal and goes in the direction BC. So this ray of light is called emergent ray. This ray of light is called emergent ray. So the angle between normal and incident ray is called angle of incidence, and the angle between refracted ray and normal is called angle of refraction, and the angle between normal and emergent ray is called angle of emergence. Angle of emergence, it is represented by small e. Now we can extend the original path of incident ray. Extend the original path of incident ray. This is the original path of incident ray. Now we can observe here the original path of incident ray and emergent ray both are parallel. Both are parallel. This is because the opposite faces of the glass slab are parallel to each other, so that the angle of incidence is equal to the angle of emergence. Angle of incidence is equal to angle of emergence. Next, the perpendicular distance between original path of incident ray and emergent ray is called lateral displacement. Is called lateral displacement. So this is all about the refraction through glass slab. Once again, I repeat once again. Here we have considered a rectangular glass slab PQRS, where we have two media. One is air medium and glass medium. Air medium is the optically rarer medium. That means the speed of light is more. Glass is the optically denser medium. That means it is the medium in which the speed of light is less. Next, consider a ray of light AO which is going from air medium to glass medium. When a ray of light moves from air medium to glass medium, it bends towards the normal and goes in the direction OB. When this refracted ray goes from denser medium to rarer medium, it bends away from the normal and goes in the direction BC. Goes in the direction BC. So the angle between the normal and incident ray is called angle of incidence, and the angle between refracted ray and normal is called angle of refraction, and the angle between emergent ray and normal is called angle of emergence. Next, extend the original path of incident ray. You will come to know that the original path of incident ray and emergent ray both are parallel to each other. This is because the opposite faces of the rectangular glass slab are parallel to each other, so that angle of incidence is equal to the angle of emergence. And you will observe that the perpendicular distance between the original path of incident ray and emergent ray is called lateral displacement. Lateral displacement. This is all about refraction through glass slab. Now the next topic is laws of refraction of light. Laws of refraction of light. The refraction of light takes place certain laws. We call them as laws of refraction of light. So there are two laws. The first law says that the incident ray, refracted ray and normal to the interface of two media at the point of incidence all lie on the same plane. So this is the first law of refraction of light. And the second law gives the relationship between angle of incidence and angle of refraction. This is discovered by experimentally Snell in the year 1621. The relationship between angle of incidence and angle of refraction was discovered by Snell experimentally in 1621. So according to Snell, the ratio of sine of angle of incidence to the sine of angle of refraction is equal to constant. So that the second law of refraction of light we call as a Snell's law of refraction of light. So what is Snell's law of refraction of light? The ratio of sine of angle of incidence to the sine of angle of refraction is equal to constant, and this constant value is called refractive index of second medium with respect to first medium. Now let us discuss what is this refractive index. Now the next topic is refractive index. It is represented by small n. So this refractive index is defined as the value of constant sin I by sin r for a ray of light ongoing from A into a particular medium. So the refractive index is defined as the value of constant sin I by sin r for a ray of light going from A into a particular medium, and it can be expressed as n is equal to sin I by sin r. See here, the refractive index in numerator and denominator has similar quantities, so that it does not have any units. It has no units. And next, refractive index indicates light bending ability. Light bending ability of the medium. Refractive index indicates the light bending ability of that medium. For example, the refractive index of glass is 1.5, which is greater than the refractive index of water, that is 1.3. So that the light bends more on going from air into a glass medium than from air into a water medium. Next, we know that the refraction of light is due to change in the speed of light. So that refraction of light can also be written as the refractive index of medium 2 with respect to medium 1 is equal to speed of light in medium 1, that is represented by V1, to the speed of light in medium 2, that is represented by V2. The refractive index of medium 2 with respect to medium 1 is equal to the ratio of speed of light in medium 1 to the speed of light in medium 2. So this expression is called relative refractive index. Suppose if the medium one is air or vacuum, then the refractive index can also be written as Nm. That is, refractive index of medium is equal to the speed of light in air to the speed of light in medium. So this expression is called absolute refractive index, or simply we call it as a refractive index. So refractive index of medium is equal to the ratio of speed of light in air or vacuum, that is represented by C, to the refractive index of the medium, that is represented by V. So this expression is called absolute refractive index, or simply we call it as a refractive index. So this is all about refractive index. So these expressions are very useful to solve the problems on the basis of refractive index.